Social anxiety. It's that familiar feeling of dread, the fear of judgment, the need to shrink into the background whenever there's a crowd around. For so many of us, social anxiety can feel like a wall we'll never break through. But what if I told you that this wall is actually a lie that we tell ourselves every day? I used to believe that social anxiety was just who I was, a part of my personality. I had all kinds of proof for it. Embarrassing memories, times I'd been humiliated in front of others. Each one stacked up in my mind, reinforcing this identity I'd created for myself as someone who just couldn't handle social situations. For years, I avoided socializing as much as possible. The pandemic made it even easier to stay isolated. I worked online, took classes online, and chose environments where I could hide in the comfort of my own solitude. But deep down, I knew the real reason I was isolating myself. It wasn't because of convenience, it was because I was too afraid to face my fears. Every time I chose isolation, I was reinforcing that lie, telling myself that I wasn't capable of socializing, that I wasn't confident, that this fear I felt was permanent. Then one day, I came across books on positive thinking, and more specifically, the law of attraction. I had heard of it before, but I'd always brushed it off. This time, though, something about it resonated with me. The idea that what we believe can shape our reality, that if we can truly believe something, we can become it. It was such a simple concept, but I wondered, what if I could use this to finally overcome my social anxiety? So I started small. I began visualizing myself as confident. I'd imagine walking into a room with my head held high, speaking to others without that familiar sense of dread. Instead of replaying embarrassing moments or past rejections, I focused on creating positive experiences in my mind. The amazing part? My brain couldn't tell the difference between these imagined scenarios and real ones. Just as my mind had absorbed all those old memories of anxiety, I started to stack new, positive memories, ones where I was calm, collected, and completely at ease around others. Here's the truth about your subconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between real and imagined events. Every time I visualized myself as socially confident, I was training my brain to believe that I was capable of it. I was replacing that lie of social anxiety with a new belief, that I was confident, likable, and comfortable around others. This wasn't just daydreaming, this was mental training. I was deliberately rewiring my brain, building a new foundation based on positive, empowering thoughts. As days turned into weeks, something incredible began to happen. I started to feel a real shift. My fears around social situations weren't as overpowering. I found myself naturally more comfortable in crowds, more willing to strike up conversations, and less fixated on how others might perceive me. It was as though I had been building confidence in my mind, piece by piece, and it was finally spilling over into my real life. I realized I'd broken free from the lie of social anxiety, and it all started with the decision to believe that I could change. If you're someone who struggles with social anxiety, I want you to know this. You're not defined by it. Social anxiety isn't an unchangeable part of who you are. It's a pattern, a loop in your mind that you have the power to break. Start by challenging the thoughts you tell yourself. If you can visualize confidence, you can begin to embody it. Stack positive memories, even if they're imagined, because your subconscious will begin to absorb them as truth. The more you believe in the possibility of change, the more your reality will shift. So, is social anxiety really just a lie? For me, it was. And once I stopped believing it, I began to live a life that I didn't think was possible. If this resonates with you, give it a try. Begin your own journey of transformation and see just how powerful your mind can be.